Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have an update on the Bryan Rachel Lindsay divorce, which is spilling out into court documents. Rachel Lindsay, of course, a former lawyer, has maintained her silence throughout the process. Bryan Abasolo, a chiropractor, needs an attitude adjustment, if you ask her. Now, he's filed for divorce December 31st, 2023. And since then, in the court papers, we've seen him sharing that he's actually not making much money. She's making $60,000+ a month, and he's bringing in a cool $1,600. So he's looking for some sort of some spousal support to maintain their upper class lifestyle, which, by the way, it could sound bad, but when genders are reversed, the same thing would apply, right? If he was the one making 60 grand a month, he wouldn't just throw her out to the streets, right? Someone's got to pay for that Jaguar. So we're going to get into what was said. I'm going to share it right here. And if you like this pouch, I've got a child inside of it. I know, don't adjust your reading glasses. There is a human being on my chest right now. Look, no hands. He's safe and secure. But I've actually got this isn't a sponsor per se, but the company, what's it called? La La Boo? Is that what they're called? They've sent me is it La La Boo or La La Boo? They've sent me some of these shirts, and I've got a promo code here. I guess you could just buy with the link in the description if you want. If you're out there and you're a man and you've got a child, or I don't know, maybe you want to store your pistachios, some kangaroo style, whatever it is. Maybe you're going hiking and you want some trail mix. Either way, or some cold brew. You could put a coffee in here. You could do whatever the hell you want with it, but I've got a child in mind. And anyway, that's where that'll be. Divorce shocker. Bachelorette star Rachel Lindsay reveals estranged husband still lives in her home as she pays 90% of expenses. I'm going to get into community property rules in California, and you can think about this whatever you want, but I love a good story that involves, look, I don't want messiness for anybody. I think they're both good people from all I've gleaned, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working out. What was the final straw that broke the camel's back, as it were? And you'd think a chiropractor could fix that, but not in this case. We don't know. No rumors of cheating have been made public from the couple. But they did want to have babies, and I think it was mentioned that the pursuit of relationships, the pursuit of their professional lives has delayed that. But I'm not blaming anybody. It's like, welcome to the real world. This is it, right? You've got couples who have to decide sometimes, do I put my career on hold to have a baby? Because that's exactly what you have to do. Unless you've got one of these t-shirts you can wear, in which case maybe you could wear this when you go to work. I don't know. Either way. So here's what said. Oh boy, there's a baby right there. Bachelorette star Rachel Lindsay slammed her estranged husband Bryan for exposing her alleged financial information as part of their bitter divorce. Now look, I mean, it's not like Bryan exposed it, maliciously. It's in court documents. I hate to say it. Sometimes you gotta go play hardball if you want to get what you believe you deserve out of it. Now, is that collateral damage going to be losing the respect from people in Bachelor Nation? Maybe, but maybe he's got a point. Maybe he pursued this relationship in good faith and she didn't deliver on her promises. We don't know. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, the reality star host pleaded with the court to seal portions of Bryan's recent motion for support. Again, a little late for that, but here we are. As we previously reported, the 44-year-old chiropractor filed for divorce on January 1st, 2024. I said December 31st, maybe, I don't know, maybe the papers didn't make it in on the New Year's. He listed the date of separation as December 31st. Okay, so he got separated on New Year's Eve, and then the next day he files his paperwork. So clearly this was in the plans. Bryan demanded Rachel pay him monthly spousal support. His financial statement said he only pulled in $1,700 per month in income. I know this led to a lot of people wondering, how the hell is that possible? Well, the expenses that come from having a brick and mortar are probably included in the revenue. Now, it says he pulls that in income, but my question is, does that include, did they account for expenses? Usually when you say income, you wouldn't account for expenses, you would say profit. So if he was only making $1,700 a month in income, then he's definitely not making any money because his rent's going to cost, I don't know, at least $5,000 a month, right? To have an office in a decent part of town. So I'm assuming that this income right here, $1,700, includes having taken out all of the expenses, medical insurance and things like that. And some people said, Dave, why you don't take out your mortgage expense? No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about his business expenses. So he said he needed money from Rachel to afford his own place. In the meantime, Bryan said he has continued to live with his ex at their LA home. In a declaration, Bryan said, neither of us wants to continue to live together. Well, no surprises there. He added, our current living situation is very awkward and strained. We generally do not even talk to each other and try to avoid each other. So again, we already covered this. I want to move out of our family residence as soon as possible, but maintaining our standard of living is not financially feasible at this time. I placed my career as a chiropractor on hold to move twice for Rachel's career. These moves were detrimental to my chiropractic business, while Rachel's income and success as a media personality skyrocketed. Yeah, I mean, look at this way. Chiropractor is like a more expensive hairdresser. If you're a hairdresser and you live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and you move to Portland, Oregon, you're only as good as the clients that can find you in Portland, Oregon. Most people aren't flying that far away for a haircut, although I have been known to go long distances to get my locks cut. But then again, not everyone values luscious hair like I do. Although August, my son does, if you can see, he got a lot of hair right there, got a lot of hair. Either way, he is, there he is, okay. Either way, we continue. So I can totally empathize with someone who has to restart their business across the country. So is there bitterness involved when you're the partner who's not thriving and your partner's making crazy amounts of money? Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Now, again, I'm about to share a hypothetical. I don't know if this is what went down, but let's say they agreed, hey, we want to start a family. We want to have babies. Let's try to do this. And then you find out that you're not even seeing your partner more than once every 2 months, and you're not able to, enter that fertility window, as it were. If that's the case, at some point you have to look at your relationship and go, you know what? This just isn't working out. I don't know if they had that heart-to-heart or that conversation. It seems as though Rachel was surprised that he decided to pull out, as it were, from the relationship. But either way, Bryan said that he had $781,000 in real estate property, but little funds in the bank. He said his assets included an air fryer, gym equipment, his $1,000 wedding band, and $51,000 in investments. I'm sure he did. I'm sure what you do is you list your assets as a litany of things, and they decided to include air fryer. I mean, I'm sure he owns. I got a spatula. My assets include, I got this plastic YouTube trophy that I received here, and this gavel that Amy sent me, and of course, I got this human. Does a human count as an asset? I think so. He's a cute one. So anyway, they continue. So here we get to Rachel's recent motion, and here's the update. In her recent motion, Rachel said she has expressed a desire to resolve this matter quietly without court intervention by the way of a global settlement, which is forthcoming. And again, that seems to be legal talk for, I will pay you X amount of money and we'll be done. You'll get nothing else from me moving forward. There's no kids, there's no nothing. But you have to wonder if since they got married, since you've been married, if they got married and she has gained, let's just say $5 million and he has gained 1,000. Let's say he literally broke even and got nothing, but she got $5 million. Isn't in a fair world, isn't he entitled to 50% of the revenue, the company, that being he and she, isn't he entitled to half of that? And people might say, well, he was allowed to, he could have made all this money. Yes. If he did make all the money, wouldn't she have wanted 50% of what he made? Or 50% of what so if he made $1 million and she made $5 million, that would be, they would each get $3 million, which means she would give $2 million to him. All right. Good. Does that make sense? We continue. I'd have to wonder, if my YouTube channel takes off and in years down the road, my wife says, you know what, Dave, I'm sick of your nice hair. Or maybe I go bald and she's like, you're bald. You don't have your nice hair anymore. What are we supposed to do? I don't want to be with you. Well, she would be entitled to a portion or, an equal share of the revenue, the company. I say company because that's what a relationship really is, right? You're going like into business together, the business being your livelihood. So she asked the court to seal the information to protect her from potential harm, and a judge has yet to rule. Rachel accused Bryan of breaching a confidentiality agreement they reached to exchange financial documents in the case. She said he filed several exhibits that revealed details of her finances. Again, I don't know how I don't understand how you could, like it's not his. It's the court to decide if they're going to seal this case or not, right? If he's going after spousal support, doesn't he have to show the money she makes? I'm a little confused. So anyway, let's go to we had a video yesterday we made here. So we'll go to some of the comments. Someone said, it's too bad this divorce is getting ugly. She is still to blame for, so they're going back to the Chris Harrison thing. If you listen to the Higher Learning podcast, you know why Rachel has not spoken in detail about the divorce. They spoke about it on last Friday's episode. They've had surface level conversations, but Rachel, as a lawyer and daughter of a lawyer, judge, has decided to wait until her side once the divorce is over and when she feels she can speak. Someone said California is a community property state. Everything accumulated during the marriage is 50-50 split evenly between the two. California law has a formula to calculate spousal support. It is based on net monthly income of both parties. I'm not judging or taking sides. You can Google it if you want to verify. And of course, that's exactly what we did. Have a listen.
A couple going through a divorce will have their assets and debts divided in the process. The assets are first determined whether they are community property or separate. Community property is those that are gained by the couple during the marriage, while separate property is those gained on their own, usually before the marriage. The community property will then be divided into an equal share. The state of California follows community property laws, that is why an equal share will be given to each. Some couples can decide on their own, but for others, it is the court that decides.
All right, so what kind of settlement would Bryan like? Let's use that $5 million. Let's say she made $5 million, and he made zero. So she would be, according to California property law, if she made that, be cut while they were married, you could say she has to give him $2.5 million. She might say, I will pay you a $1 million settlement. And he might say, all right, deal, done. I mean, who knows? Who knows how much? Maybe she hasn't made that much money. But if she's making $60K a month right now, that's $750,000 a year. They've been married for a couple of years now. You do the math. There's money at stake. What goes down with this? We will find out. Very interesting stuff. Let me know what you think. I'll be live on Patreon right after this. Patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want to hang out with me in August. If you want to buy this shirt, I'll put it in the description of my video so you guys can get a look at it. I got to tell you, I'll tell you this right now. They haven't paid me a dime. They just gave me the shirt, but I got to tell you, it's a little expensive. It's like $70. It is worth every penny. I have been able to spend the last 3 hours hanging out with my son while I'm working, with my hands free. I got to tell you, it's way stronger than I thought it would be. And look, it's amazing. Again, I'm just like loving it. Look, you can get up, you can move around. I got a baby right there. I got a belly there too. All right, folks, we'll be back with more right after this.